Welcome to this house where history unfolded. I'm your host. Today we set out to explore stories of struggle and strength from Black lives in America. Our first stop is New Orleans, Louisiana. Standing before me is the cabin where Homer Plessy was born in 1862. During slavery, my great-great-grandfather was born into a wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. Despite being the son of a white father and a black mother, he was considered black by law. During slavery, the laws of Louisiana declared anyone of color, regardless of their degree of African ancestry, to be a person of color, which meant that people like my ancestor were enslaved. After slavery ended, these same laws continued to oppress former enslaved people and their descendants. This included Homer's own father, who was denied his freedom until he was over 70 years old. But even after he gained his freedom, he still faced discrimination. The stubbornness of these laws fueled the determination in Homer's heart to fight for equality. As an adult, he joined the newly formed Equal Rights Association, and in 1892 became one of the founding members of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, or an AACP. 5 years later, he was part of a group of activists planning a protest against segregated streetcars in New Orleans. The plan involved riding a streetcar that was separated for whites only. Homer was selected as the man to test the new law because he looked white. But while on the ride, a white police officer demanded that Homer move to the separate car. He refused. And when the officer touched him, Homer resisted, which resulted in him being arrested. This case went all the way to the Supreme Court. The unanimous decision was that racial segregation was indeed legal. This was the devastating outcome of the case. But it wasn't the end for Homer. He continued to fight for civil rights, becoming the executive secretary of the NAACP. It was a position he would hold for 34 years. Under his leadership, the organization grew from a small regional group to a national force fighting against racial prejudice through the courts. His work helped pave the way for future generations to come. Thank you for listening. To learn more about the NAACP, visit our website. To continue the conversation about Homer Plessy, follow us on social media and use the hashtag provided. Next, we head to Mount Holly, New Jersey, to stand outside the house where activist and writer James Baldwin lived with his family. Between 1933 and 1943, growing up in poverty, Baldwin moved from the South to New York City with his family at age 14, while living in Mount Holly. He attended night school to earn his high school equivalency degree, and then went on to study at the New School in Manhattan. He had dreams of becoming a writer, but his path was not easy. At 19, he had a nervous breakdown and spent some time in a psychiatric hospital, but soon after he began writing prolifically. One of his first novels, Go Tell It on the Mountain, was semi-autobiographical and dealt with the struggles of growing up black in America. During his lifetime, Baldwin published 8 novels, 5 plays, several essays, and countless articles. Baldwin used his talent to shine a light on the harsh realities of racism and homophobia. His powerful words challenged the status quo and left an enduring impact on American literature and culture. Sadly, Baldwin passed away in 1987, but his legacy continues to inspire writers and activists around the world. Thank you for listening. To learn more about James Baldwin, visit our website. To continue the conversation about James Baldwin, follow us on social media and use the hashtag provided. Now we travel to Atlanta, Georgia to explore the home of the Sweet Auburn Curb Market. This iconic building was once the center of black business and culture in Atlanta. But the road to its creation was long and difficult. The early 1900s, Atlanta was undergoing rapid growth. The black Atlantans were excluded from many economic opportunities because of the color of their skin. This led to the development of Sweet Auburn, an area just east of downtown Atlanta. It became a hub for black entrepreneurship, housing shops, restaurants, and other businesses owned by black people. In 1919, a fire destroyed much of downtown Atlanta and forced many businesses to relocate. Many black business owners found themselves without a place to sell their goods, so they came together and created the Sweet Auburn Curb Market, named after the street on which it was located. The market opened in 1921 with 24 vendors and quickly became a hub of the community. For decades, it thrived, providing jobs and economic opportunities for black Atlantans during a time when they were denied those things elsewhere. But in the 1970s, Market began to decline as shopping patterns changed and new shopping centers were built. By the late 1980s, the market was on the verge of closing. But the community fought back, launching a successful campaign to save it. In 1995, the market was placed on the National Register of Historic Places, and today, it continues to be a vital part of Atlanta's cultural landscape. Thank you for listening. To learn more about the Sweet Auburn Curb Market, visit our website. To continue the conversation about the Sweet Auburn Curb Market, follow us on social media and use the hashtag provided. To close our tour today, we head to Chicago, Illinois, to stand in front of the Deuceable Museum of African American History. The museum was founded in 1961, making it the first museum in the world dedicated to African American history. Its creation was the brainchild of Dr. Margaret Burroughs, a local school teacher. She had a vision of a museum that would celebrate the achievements of Black Americans and challenge the narrative that they had no role in shaping the nation's history. But she soon realized that to make this dream a reality, she needed help. So she reached out to her friend Charles Sutton, who was a well-known figure in Chicago's Black arts scene. Together, they formed the nucleus of what would become the museum's board of directors. They set out to raise funds for the museum, but they faced an uphill battle. Many wealthy donors were hesitant to support a museum dedicated solely to Black history, believing that it would be divisive. But Burroughs and her colleagues were determined to succeed. They organized events and fundraisers, reaching out to individuals and organizations throughout the city. Eventually, their hard work paid off, and the museum opened its doors on November 1st, 1961. The collection started small, but over the years it has grown to include thousands of artifacts, photographs, and documents. In 2008, the museum moved to a larger space in the heart of Chicago's South Side, allowing them to expand their exhibits and educational programs. Today, the museum is a vital resource for anyone seeking to learn more about African American history and culture. Thank you for listening. To learn more about the Deuceable Museum of African American History, visit our website. To continue the conversation about the Deuceable Museum of African American History, follow us on social media and use the hashtag provided. Thank you for joining us on this episode of This House. We are glad you're here exploring Black history with us. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to check out more stories from this house and subscribe to our channel for more stories like these. You can also leave us a comment below about your experience learning about these important historical figures and events. We value your feedback and look forward to bringing you more engaging content in the future.